begins here. With a vibrant society and an ambitious, thriving nation, here we unpack the toolkit of the future. Unleashing their potential, leading the way for the sustainable development of Saudi Arabia. Welcome to the Miss Global Forum.
سيداتي سادتي، من فضلكم رحبوا معنا برئيس التحرير في سكاي نيوز العربية علي القرني وضيوفه الكرام.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome sports editor Sky News Arabia, Ali El-Ghani, and his panel.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, assalamu alaikum, thank you. As you heard, my name is Ali Garni. I'm the head of sport at Sky News Arabia, and it's truly an honor to host the session that we are having here today. It's also a privilege to take part in this first global forum, and on behalf of Sky News Arabia, just for the record, I would like to thank the organizers and MESC for including a sports topic in their program. As the session will progress, you will see that this topic is of paramount importance to us. It concerns us all. Because given the volatile nature of the world we live in today, with this increasing level of conflicts that are tearing apart our societies, and also the level of exclusions and discriminations and divisions that we see every day in our communities, and also this feeling of non-belonging and loss of identity and lack of motivation, it's scary, it's really frightening. We are looking for solutions other than the decisions, the resolutions and the laws. We are looking for a solution that's been tried and tested time and time again, a solution which is very effective. And ladies and gentlemen, that solution is simply sport. As strange as it may sound, that's true. Sport, if it's applied correctly and used properly, it can do magic. It's a tool that can promote social togetherness, reconciliation, peace. It can empower people both at home and at the workplace and in all walks of life. Most of us here, including myself, don't know really the real impact of sport that sports can have on society. Luckily, we have two distinguished guests who know more than anybody else what sports can do. Ladies and gentlemen, Her Royal Highness Princess Reema, Bander Al-Saud, the Vice President of the Women's Affairs of the General Authority of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and Mr. Dikembe Mutombo, Chairman and President of the Dikembe Mutombo Foundation. Your Highness, Mr. Dikembe, it's a pleasure to be with you here on stage. I would have loved to introduce you the normal way, the usual way. But ladies and gentlemen, just believe me, I've tried in the last few days to come up with a short and a summary to introduce them. But these two people have done so much in their lives that even the 45 minutes, which is allocated to this session, won't be enough to go through the resume of one of them. And honestly, if I can achieve just a small fraction of what they have achieved in their lives, I would be very content with my life. So what we will do, I will just, as the session progresses, you will introduce yourself to the audience through the experiences. And just before we start, ladies and gentlemen, just to go briefly through the format of this session so that you know what to expect. The discussion will remain here on stage at the beginning. Then at the end, we'll open the floor for questions. But please, if you can, keep your questions short and direct so that we can take as many questions as possible. From time to time, we might even take questions during the discussion. And I'll start with Your Highness. When I was introducing the topic, I said some beautiful and nice things about sports. Then I looked and I saw a couple of faces who were a bit cynical. Was I exaggerating? Through your experience, how come sport can do all this magic? How can sport unlock all this and do this much good for the society?
So what I'd first like to say is thank you for coming to listen to us today, and thank you for the MISC Forum for inviting us. Today is a symbol of the vision of Saudi that is evolving, and it's a vision that encompasses youth, and it encompasses sports for all, and it also is focused on our health. Our health has more to do with physical activity than anybody today really would like to accept. We're not asking for anything controversial. What we're actually saying is today, for your physical well-being, for your physical health, your emotional health, and your mental health, physical activity is important. My role at the General Sports Authority really does not encompass competitive sport. My focus is on a mass participation mandate, which is how do we include as many people as possible from birth all the way to age 99, all of us, to understand that a healthy lifestyle is not only important for your physical health, it's important for your family dynamic, it is important for an economic development of this country. Today we are spending more money on our health care than is reasonable when the solution is in our own hands. That solution is be more physically active. So my role today is to focus on the integration of women into the world of physical fitness, not exclusively the world of sport. Physical fitness affects you emotionally, mentally, physically. It is your personal well-being, and then it creates a healthy citizen. And our goal and our role as a government entity is to allow this nation to have more opportunities for physical fitness and physical health. And that's really what I'd like to express to people. Competitive sport is the icing on the cake. It is also the role of the Olympic Committee and the federations. My role is to create a platform of healthy citizens in collaboration with the other members that work with us at the General Sports Authority. We're a partner to the health sector, and it is our role to reduce the pressure that's coming to them. So when we talk about sports, I beg you not to be cynical, because I'd like you to look at sport as a small part of the ecosystem of the health network, and I'd like you to think of sport as a small, actually a large part of the ecosystem of the economy, which we will get to in a minute.
Dikembe, I heard you once, you were talking for the UNICEF program, and I heard
Yes.
you using the expression, sport can teach you soft skills. And it was funny, I laughed a bit, I said, I'm coming from a big guy. And ladies and gentlemen, I know what you're thinking about, he's a big guy. But just wait and see how big his heart is. This guy has been voted in America as the most generous athlete in the world, with millions given to charities through sport. So, Mr. Dikembe.
Thank you.
So, Dikembe, when I heard that, the soft skills, can you tell us through your experience, what soft skills has sport taught you, and what are you trying to teach with all this work and initiatives?
First, I want to say thank you to Mix for having us here, because without this conference, I didn't know that I would have an opportunity to come to Saudi Arabia for the first time. So I'm very happy for being invited here. Thank you so much. What I will say about sport, we have to remember that sport by general, sport you have a power to change the society. Sport you have a power to change the world. By participating in activities, like the Highness say, it allowed to have a great society, especially when it comes to our young people. We cannot talk about the development of society if we don't invest in the future generation that are coming. And I think that's one of the reasons here we are meeting here this weekend, because we want to put all of our resources together to find a way which will be best for our young people to grow in a society where they can be healthy. And the sport will be something that will bring to them, allow them to be healthy, to stay away from all of those diseases that is destroying the fabric of our society. I was lucky. Not because I was 7'3". I was lucky because I embraced this game of sport or basketball, which allowed me to becoming who I am today. Not just becoming famous, just becoming a great athlete a great basketball player, you have a chance to make fortune, and I use that fortune to go and make a difference in society. That was the reason why my wife and I decided to go and build a $40 million hospital for the poor in Africa. Because we believe in a sport. Sport can change the world, and so sport can change our society. And we can do it here in Saudi Arabia. Our young people need to be active. They need to have something else to do, can bring them together and can keep them getting out of trouble. It's very important for our young people.
Your Highness, it's not as easy as it seems. Sport, for the communities, we know that the female sport is a key part of the kingdom's vision, 2030 vision. What's desired from this in that vision? What can we see in the next 5 years, 10 years? Because people want really to know how sport can help.
Well, what is desired is really the opportunity for women to engage more. I have been working with the General Sports Authority since the 1st of August, and for the past few months, our teams have diligently been surveying the canvas and the landscape of the kingdom to see what exists that we could capitalize on, and what do we need to actually invest in. What exists today is an army of enthusiastic and engaged young women that understand their value to this country. What we're looking for is to open more doors for them to express how they feel in their sense of unity. Unity is really important because what sports allows you to do is a team spirit. If we would like to progress with young people and encourage them to be more effective employees in future, today we need young people active in sports. Team spirit is something you learn from a young age if you're exposed to it. And today, from a young audience, I think it's really important that we include women in this because as the labor force increases and more integration of women happens, I believe we all need to understand what failure looks like. We need to understand what success looks like. We need to understand what it means to diligently practice your trade, diligently practice your skill, iterate and reiterate until you achieve success. So what we are looking for is really how do we integrate this in a way that befits our community. One of the things I've noticed is the private sector is highly engaged. I've really and honestly noticed with all of our meetings that we've had with the different government sectors, they understand it, but what they're looking for is someone to give them a roadmap. The roadmap is what we've been investigating right now, and members of my team are actually sitting in the audience here. And I can tell you we've been working sometimes until 2, 3 in the morning to understand the best programs exist everywhere in the world. That does not mean it's the best program for us here in Saudi. Our needs are different, our culture and our expression is different. The way we engage with each other is different. So what we can promise you is that the programs that we'll be delivering will be ones that help us achieve not only the health impact that we'd like to do, but the economic impact. Today, the value of sports as a sector could equal, unbelievably, 250,000 jobs for women over the next 2 years. That's unheard of. This is a sector that doesn't exist today. And now it's not only a sector that doesn't exist, it doesn't exist for women either. So imagine the double impact of that. The jobs that are going to be created when we think of the programs that we're going to do for mass participation. I'll give you a very brief example. We would like to encourage young people to walk more. We would like to encourage young people to ride bicycles, create hobby clubs. How is it possible to create a club for hobbies, which is a sport, for bicycles, if in the nation's capital we have 1, maybe 2 stores that sell bicycles from a professional capacity, other than Toys R Us for children? It is impossible to create a demand with no supply. So our role would be then to work with young entrepreneurs who I'm hoping are in the room to understand we will create the demand for you. Please come and create the supply, because that supply equals the economy of sport. Not only is the supply that's needed from the actual bicycle, it's the bicycle repair, it is the tourism company that might come up because we now have an enthusiastic group of young people that would like to travel the world and ride their bicycles. We may even have journalism in sports. We may have journalism specifically to bicycle, which by the way exists in the world. There's a magazine called Golf. There's a magazine called Walk. There's a magazine called Running. What is to stop us from expanding our understanding of every single sector that exists in this economy by adding sports before it or adding sports after it? That's what we would like to encourage you to do. So the value of sports is not only in your physical fitness, it is in your economic fitness. It is in all of our vested interest today to look at the ecosystem of sport and invest in it. It's in our vested interest today to look at it and innovate in technology, innovate in product, innovate in retail, innovate in activity. If we would like to have an elite competitive sports program that represents this country with pride, today we have to invest in our young people from a school level, from an after-school level, to allow them the interest, the exposure, and the ability to practice their sports, whether they are hobbies or not, in order to allow them to escalate themselves. But equally with this, we also need to look at the jobs that are created to support these individuals that are going to be going up. Today, we may not have the expertise here, but what a wonderful opportunity for somebody in this room to create the business that trains the people that are going to invest in the growth of our economy. And please look at our economy financially, please look at our economy as people, and also what I'd like to perhaps bring into the room today from a youth perspective is let's not only look at the return on the investment from a financial point of view, could we also consider the social return on this investment? The social return is the impact that our work will have on our community and our young people. It is what will create an integrated and healthy family. It's the dialogue that will bring us back to our roots. Historically and traditionally, we are family orientated. Historically and traditionally, we are a mobile people. It is our recent history that has made us sedentary. So what we are asking you to do is reach back into your root and go back to being mobile for the sake of your family and for the sake of the nation, economically, health-wise, and also community-wise. That's what we're asking of you in the room.
Thank you, Your Highness. We have here kind of two different regions with different challenges. We have,
Yes.
we're talking about Africa, and you're talking about Asia and the region here of the Gulf. I think there are different challenges. For you, your foundation has been going on for some time. What are the challenges that you are, because you are facing different challenges, and we'll talk about the challenges here in the Gulf region, but for you, the challenges there, I think that's funding and facilities in Africa.
I think the most challenging that we are facing in our world today is keeping our women healthy, because more investment that we are doing to invest in our young girls and our young women, our future mother of our society, those are good investment, because there's no society who can becoming strong, or no civilization or culture that can stand for himself and be strong with our investment on women. And we need to do that in a younger age. And I think the initiative that the princess have right now here in Saudi Arabia is very important, because more investment that we're investing in our young girls, we're going to see that productivity in the years to come, where we're going to have a happy society, because there's no family who's strong with a good mother. There are no marriage that is good, strong with a good wife or healthy wife. You don't want to have the mom who's sick. You don't have a society that's full of women who are always sick. I give an example of Congo, where I'm working right now. We are talking about, we have a society where more than 20 million women, you have a chance to develop cervical cancer if they don't get screening. So I feel like I'm investing in the future of our society, which is very important, on a treatment that costs only $15. So because I knew that more than women are gone, more than the society is disappearing, more than our family being destroyed, more than we're going to have so many children, orphans, there will be nobody to look after them, nobody to cook the food for them. So I feel like we have to do whatever it takes in this program that I want to do. I want to come back in Saudi Arabia to find the time how can we work together with the princess, and to help not just the boys, but particularly the girls, also to make sure that they're becoming very productive in society and the sport, because they can change the world. It's amazing. I have a daughter, so I know.
And Your Highness, I think it's the same for you. I think you will do whatever it takes, because that's what I understood from when you said before, you said in one of your interviews before, you said that there's no turning back from the involvement of, you being involved and also the involvement of women. When did you, because if anyone hears you talking, they would get the impression and the idea that you've been involved in this since I don't know when. What inspired you so that your focus will be just on this, on being the advocate of women integration in society and this sport thing? What inspired you?
What inspired you? If anybody knows my past, I was working in, I was CEO of Alpha International, which is the owner of the Harvey Nichols department store. When I was working in Harvey Nichols, it was during the time of Saudiization where we were integrating women. The reaction that the women had coming into the workplace was something I'd never experienced before. And learning their particular stories showed me multiple things. There are certain skills that cannot be taught just in a vocational training program. There are certain skills that you will only actually learn when you engage in life and when you engage in the workplace, but you engage in your community. And I found it very, very important for me to champion these women for financial independence. Financial independence means employment. But what I learned when we are talking about financial independence is if you are making all of your money and spending it at the end of the day on your health care, that's actually not independence. And that is not self-sufficiency. For a woman to be self-sufficient, she has to map out all of the different sectors of her life that are important. Family is absolutely and vitally important. And it's the core blood of our nation. We are a family, faith-based nation. So everything that we do will always revolve around our faith, and it will always revolve around our family, no matter what. So how do we enable a woman to take care of herself and be strong and take care of her family is to allow her the resources to do that. And that is really work and employment. And that's one of the Vision 2030 mandates, is to increase women's opportunities in the workplace. Now, the beauty of what I'm being asked to do now, and the reason I'm so passionate about it, is it's employment for women and it's health. I'm also very active with the Zahra Breast Cancer Association. And what I've learned from my involvement with them is multiple diseases actually have the same baseline of side effects: depression, emotional exhaustion, physical exhaustion. And what I've also learned from the experiences I've had from my wonderful, wonderful colleagues at Zahra is there's a lot of preventative work that can do. Many diseases you can't avoid. If it comes to you and God has actually given you that challenge, that's your challenge. But as a community, if we are healthier previously, before this disease or before this challenge, and the disease might be stress. The disease doesn't necessarily have to be cancer. Whatever your challenge is that's coming your way, your body and your soul and your spirit will handle it much better if you're physically fit. So physical fitness is so vitally important. So when Prince Abdullah asked me to come and do this, I believe it was for a number of reasons. Number one, because of the experience I've had with integrating women into a sector that they weren't available, that wasn't available to them before, but also because of the health focus that we had working with the Zahra Breast Cancer Association. And I wish I could take credit for the work that Zahra does, but I cannot. The Zahra Breast Cancer Association focuses on the holistic health of a woman. The expression of our attention is breast cancer, but the work that we do applies to women's health generally. And I'm very, very passionate about that. So to be given the opportunity to positively impact the women of this nation at a larger scale than just the work that I could do with Zahra or with the women in retail, for me was such a profound honor that I hope if I can achieve a fraction of the dreams of the women of this country, I hope I can deliver that, because that's a burden. I'm ready to do it, but to do it, I need everybody's support. And the support that I need is your faith. I need your patience. I need you to communicate with us and tell us what you need. Shortly, we're going to put up the email addresses that we've assigned for us. But we all have to recognize the change that must evolve involves infrastructure, so there's a cost to that and there's a timeline to that. It involves planning and strategic implementation, which we can do at a shorter rate, but it involves partners. My goal and my objective is not for us as the General Sports Authority to run everything, do everything, and own everything. My goal is to make us an enabler, to enable the community and the private sector to participate in this dialogue. Otherwise, we are oppressing a private sector, which is not healthy. So we're trying to look at this to engage you. So my challenge today is look at every sector as a private sector, look at the world of sport, communicate with us, and tell us, how can you help? How can I enable you to help this nation? How can I enable you to dream and create and innovate? How can I enable us all together to really be this future that should be closer? It could be 2030, but if we work harder, it could be 2020. If we really, really believe, it could be tomorrow. But that belief is not resting on my shoulders. I will enable if you engage.
Dikembe, I'll remind you of something that people say in Africa, and I think you will know it really well. They say if you take the lift or the elevator up,
you gotta make sure that you send the elevator down, because there's people who are
don't
waiting
forget
to
to send
take
it.
the same
Yes.
elevator up.
And I think that's true to sport. That's the thing.
Yes.
That's the thing that we want to see. That's the thing that sports can promote. This feeling of togetherness and that one for all and all for one.
I think it's a moral responsibility that when you succeed in life, in any aspect, you always gotta make sure how many people can I reach in my lifetime. Also, to be successful like I did. And I think that has been like a moral thing that's been bothering me as being a young African who came from the poverty, who grew up with the parents who made only $37 a month, and went into America, ended up to becoming who I'm becoming today. And I feel like I have the moral duty to do something in general. How many more people I can go to Africa and young girls that I can give the opportunity to come to America to be educated, and in the same token also to play the game of basketball. And I think I have done it so well. Today, as I'm talking to you, I've been able, with the help of the NBA, to take at least more than 130 young girls and boys to America, where they have gone to play basketball, they have gone to get an education, and now we have seen so many of them are playing in the NBA, because I felt that it was my duty, not just to play a game, but also to look behind my shoulder to see how many more people can come, take over my shoes and my seat that I'm sitting in. So I encourage every one of you here in this room, we have to invest in our youth, no matter what you are doing in your life. If you are a great entrepreneur, trying to wake up every day, trying to see how can you invest in our youth. And a great place to invest to our young people is through sport. Because when you get them to becoming sportly active, and you have a great chance to come and talk to them about everything, because that's a great place you can find young girls and young boys coming together, being committing with the same goal and the same objective for accomplishing something. And they give all of us opportunity to come to the platform to address them to every concern that we have in a society about them.
And your Highness, for talking about entrepreneurs, sport, it really helps you. It teaches you that spirit of togetherness, and it can give you some clues how to be a real leader. It does have that power. Now we have a law that has been passed here in the kingdom, and regarding the privatization of the clubs. So many people are asking, how could that benefit, because it's about football clubs, but how could that benefit, the society as a whole? Is there some money coming back to the society?
So this is really where Prince Abdullah bin Saad, my boss, is a visionary. He could have sold these clubs, and that the money could have gone back to the Ministry of Finance. It could have gone to other initiatives. But part of his strategic plan was to create a development fund for the world of sports. And that today is so significant because it means that every young child can grow up and feel there is someone who could help them realistically. It means they have a specific place to go to achieve this. And it's very hard to dream and then action your dream if there's not a point of focus. And what Prince Abdullah has done today is given them that point of focus and a belief that there is someone that will give them an opportunity and the chance. My role will be to look at how we would integrate women and make sure women's initiatives are actually also supported in this. The fund will be no less than 2.5 billion riyals, and that shows you the dedication of our organization, and it shows you the dedication of this country to its youth. And when we're talking about sports, what's really important, and I think it's quite, poetic, our focus historically has been football. And everybody keeps asking, why the focus on football? We've done nothing but football. But how beautiful is it today that the thing that we were singularly focused on is actually going to be the seed capital of our future? So to be able to take that step of what was and invest in what could be today is what dreams are made of. And so today we're saying, dream. We're going to support you if you meet the criteria. The criteria is not going to be easy, nor should it be easy, because to dream, to activate, to aspire, and to innovate, you have to elevate. So the dialogue that we would like to have coming out of here is a dialogue of innovation that is elevated, that's not just locally impactful, but is globally impactful. And we need to begin to see ourselves as larger than ourselves. Every action that we create in this country has an echo outside. Every word we say here, every competition we do here, today, through social media, through global social media presence and media presence, everybody knows what we're doing. So right now, let's actually make the decision to actually operate at a higher standard of sports competition. Let's elevate our dialogue in how we engage with each other in our health and our fitness. And why don't we be the ones that promote positive things out of here that could be campaigns and initiatives that the world follows rather than us follow the world. It's a chance for leadership for us, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. But I'm also very proud that Prince Abdullah was so dedicated to keep going. And it has taken him multiple years, and many of you that follow the world of sport know his history and know that this is something he's been calling for years. So to be a part of the team and watch this be achieved today is a moment I'm very proud and honored to be a part of. And I hope you are too, because we are now investing in our social development through holistic health that is exhibited as sports and physical fitness.
We'll take a couple of questions from the... Yes, please.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
مساء الخير. أولاً قبل السؤال بس خلينا نستغل الجلسة وعندي طلب لسمو الأميرة ريما. يعني احنا هذا أول ظهور ممكن نشوف الأميرة فيه من بعد ما صدر القرار مجلس الوزراء بتعيين الأميرة. الطلب إنه أول ظهور إعلامي يكون لسمو الأميرة على شاشة سكاي نيوز عربية. عفواً أنا حمد المحمود مدير مكتب قناة سكاي نيوز عربية بالسعودية. فطلبي إنه أول ظهور لك إعلامي على شاشة التلفزيون يكون معنا في المحطة ونتشرف في استضافتك معنا. السؤال موجه لك سمو الأميرة الآن أعتقد بعد مضي 100 يوم، مضى أكثر من 100 يوم من تاريخ تعيينك كوكيل للرئيس لشؤون المرأة. ليست المرأة فقط السعودية اللي تسأل، المجتمع كله يسأل ما هي خطة العمل لكم؟ أنتم تعملون الآن داخل الرئاسة العامة أو داخل هيئة الرياضة، ما هي خطة العمل؟ ما الأهداف؟ التارجت لكم أنتم كقسم نسائي لشؤون المرأة لابد أن يعلن للكل، ما يكون المجال مفتوح للتهاونات. فقط هذا هو السؤال.
طبعا يشرفني أني أطلع على السكاي العربية، بس بالإضافة للسكاي العربية يتهيألي كمان الحضور لازم يكون مع الإعلاميين الموجودين الوطنيين في البلد كلنا مع بعض، لأنه رسالتنا وواجبنا للوطن. I need to engage. I'm sorry, we're speaking in Arabic. أهم شيء الرسالة توصل لشبابنا اللي موجودين هنا وبالإضافة لشبابنا اللي برا. ثانياً الخطوة اللي بعدها هي الرسالة العالمية. خطة العمل لنا إحنا طبعاً مشاركة المرأة بالمشاريع الرياضية الصحية. لنا زي ما قلت مو 100 يوم، حوالي 90 يوم. قاعدين ندرس الساحة الموجودة عندنا الحين، إيش الناقص وإيش الزايد وإيش الأشياء اللي ممكن نأسسها هنا في المملكة وإيش الشراكات اللي ممكن نعقدها. أولاً لنا اجتماعات مع وزارة العمل، وزارة البلديات، لأنه في أشياء تخص هذه الوزارات لازم نتعاون معاهم على أساس نطلع البرامج اللي نبغى نطلعها. وزارة العمل شريك جدا جدا مهم لأنه عندهم برامج التنمية الاجتماعية، وهذه الفئة جدا مهمة أنه إحنا نتعامل ونتعاقد معاها على أساس تدخل في المجال الرياضي. غير عن كذا في خطة للأفتر سكول أكتيفيتيز، في خطط كمان وشراكات مع الكشافة مع الجمعيات اللي موجودة على أساس نوصل مو بس بنات المناطق رياض جدة والخبر، إحنا ودنا يكون البريزنس حقنا في المملكة العربية كلها. زي ما قلت أول، ما نبغى أنه إحنا نصنع كل شيء وإحنا نكون مسؤولين على كل شيء، نبغى إحنا نضع خطة العمل ونأسس التولز والأساسيات على أساس القطاع الخاص وكمان النون government organization اللي هي الجمعيات تشارك معانا في صناعة هذه البرامج. co-creation بالنسبة لي شيء جدا مهم. كيف نشارك البنات في المجتمع الرياضي، في الاقتصاد الرياضي؟ أبغاكم بس تفهموا شيء جدا جدا مهم، الاقتصاد الرياضي له أهمية قد الرياضة نفسها، والمرأة ممكن تشارك في الاقتصاد الرياضي بطريقة مهولة، وعندنا خطط استراتيجية إن شاء الله حنضعها ونعلن عنها خلال الأسبوعين الجاية أو 3 أسابيع. في كذا معلومة إن شاء الله حتطلع، ما ودي أحكي فيها اليوم لأنه لسه في MOUs حنوقعها خلال الأسبوعين الجاية، بس معنا شراكات مع الجامعات، معنا شراكات مع الجمعيات، معنا شراكات مع وزارات أخرى. طبعا إحنا هيئة، ما إحنا وزارة، بس إن شاء الله قد ما إحنا صغار إن شاء الله يكون الصدى حقنا كبير. فاللي قلته أنا بالإنجليزي واللي ودي أعيده بالعربي، أبغاكم أنتوا تشاركوا معانا، أفكاركم هي المهمة، برامجكم هي المهمة، إحنا دورنا أنه نفتح الباب. بس أنا ما حعرف أي باب أفتحه إلا لما أسمع منكم إيش الأبواب اللي أنتوا تحتاجوها تفتح. فإن شاء الله حنحط الإيميل حقنا في الهيئة، علمونا إيش تبغوا، بس we will not do your job. إحنا ما حنسوي شغلكم، إحنا حنسوي شغلنا، وشغلنا نفتح الباب، شغلنا نسهل، شغلنا إنه نوسع المفاهيم، وشغلنا كمان إنه نكون المسج بروفايدر، التوجيه. واللي أتمنى من الشباب وأتمنى من البنات اللي موجودين، وعوا نفسكم على أهمية صحتكم الشخصية، وبوابة التوعية ممكن تكون الرياضة. فبليز use us.
Thank the chair and the speakers. I want to thank Misk. Today she introduced for us one of the godfathers of the Saudi women. I want to congratulate all the Saudi women and say that your dreams will come true if we have a leaders like Princess Reema. Really, we are very proud. We are very proud, Your Royal Highness. I am Dr. Talal Al-Harbi. I'm the chairman of Riyadh Special Needs Club. I have heroes, disabled people who play basket, and they are heroes all over the world. My concern is about the disabled ladies. I think they are suffering a lot, and they are like in a hell. So please, Your Royal Highness, we need you to put this in one of your priorities. Disabled ladies is really need. I try to invite them to my club, which is under the authority, but the rules and still not allowed me. So we are looking, Your Royal Highness, to know what you're thinking to do for the disabled ladies. Thank you very much, and really we are very proud to see you today.
Thank you. So disabled women are a particular focus for us because today they've been isolated in so many fashions, both socially and economically. And I know I'm boring you all with my focus on the economy, but the economy is so important, and it is what will drive opportunity. To be able to integrate different sectors of this community, whether it's women, whether it's disabled, whether it's children, whether it's orphans, whether it's families on social welfare, the programming that we would like to do is to integrate the community as a whole. Our strategic partner with that is the Ministry of Labour and Social Welfare, and we've had a series of meetings with them that are so inspiring to understand that, yes, we may have the program, but they have the belief and the facility to create the impact nationally. And we will be launching those programs, and I'm very excited to speak about them. We're finalizing the agenda. When it comes to the agenda and when it comes to my policy with press, I really don't like to say something I'm not ready to tell the full story about. And I really don't like to present half stories. If I present a half story, it allows a vacuum for interpretation. The programs and the projects that we are working on are so impactful and so necessary that when we present them, we will present you not only with the agenda, we will present you with our strategic partners, we will present you with the impact that we expect, and we will also be calling out for the public sector's engagement to take what we believe we can do to make it much larger. So this is where I would ask for patience, but I do understand we need to communicate better, and I do promise to communicate better. The issue has been we have been so entrenched with the work that we're doing to deliver the product that we need, because today on a women's level, we're late, and the only thing I can tell you is سامحونا على التأخير. For the ladies, من جد سامحونا. We're working on it and we're working very diligently.
Is a woman there?
I promised you, and I will take you. I'll keep my promise. Well, but we have a question here. We have just for the sake of balance, we are talking about sport, the sport spirit. So we have to take one from our ladies here.
مساء القيادة والريادة في الرياضة. تلقت الأندية السعودية بشرى بخصخصة الأندية الممتازة. نشكر كل من قام على جهودكم. سؤالي سمو الأميرة نوف المشاري معك. هل ترى سمو الأميرة قياديات سعوديات في مجال الرياضة من خلال إنشاء أندية نسائية رياضية؟ شكرا للجميع. وخير مثال سموكم الآن.
الله يسعدك. الأندية الرياضية تعتمد على الفيدريشنز نفسها مسؤولة أنها فعلا عالميا لازم يكون لها ظهور نسائي. إحنا دورنا كالهيئة العامة للرياضة أنه نسهل عليهم أنهم يدمجوا المرأة في برامجهم. دمج المرأة في برامجهم لا يعني التنافس المرأة مع الرجال في الرياضة، يعني أنه يكون لها سير في الرياضة المعنية حسب البيئة حقتنا، حسب المعايير حقتنا إحنا، بس بالتعاون مع الجهات العالمية، لأنه كل رياضة لها شروط معينة، والرياضات اللي ما تناسبنا ما حننفذها، والرياضات اللي تناسبنا حننفذها. بس ثقافة الرياضة هي اللي لازم تتوسع، لأنه ثقافة الرياضة ما هي الرياضة نفسها، في الرياضة المجتمعية، وأنا دوري أنه نوسع مفهوم الرياضة المجتمعية ونوسع المشاركة في الرياضة المجتمعية مع فريق العمل اللي موجود في الهيئة العامة للرياضة، وطبعا التوجه حقي للنساء والopportunities اللي نبغى نفتحها لهم. أندية رياضية في الكورة الصراحة اليوم ما أتوقع حتكون فيه، لأنه ما هو الاهتمام حقنا بالكورة بالذات، لأنه صراحة في أشياء كثيرة لازم نركز فيها قبلها في الأساس نفسه. فدوري خلال السنة الأولى والسنة الثانية الأساسيات اللي لازم تكون موجودة على أساس ننمي الرياضة المجتمعية وصحة المرأة عن باب الرياضة، وبعدين حنبني عليها. وطبعا نساعد الفيدريشنز اللي موجودة في المملكة إنه كيف هم ممكن يدخلوا المرأة في النماذج حقتهم إن شاء الله.
I will take our question, but just before that, because our time is nearly up, and I will ask the organizers if they can allow us to have 2 more minutes, please.
I apologize for the
السلام عليكم. أولاً أنا خلوني أطلب في الحقيقة تقديراً وتقديساً لهذه المرأة التي تمثل المملكة العربية السعودية، وأرفع العقال حقيقة لهذه ريما بنت بندر بسلطان. حقيقة لدي رسالة الحقيقة لكل من يحارب المرأة السعودية أو يستهين بالمرأة السعودية أو يحاول التقليص من دور المرأة السعودية، فهذه حقيقة أكبر نموذج وأكبر رد على كل من يحاول أن يقتل الإبداع أو يوئد الإبداع في المملكة العربية السعودية. سؤالي سمو الأميرة، احنا كلنا فخورين فيك شبابا وفتيات أبناء هذا الوطن، هناك عشرات الآلاف من أمثالك. السؤال المحدد exactly، هل لديكم خطة في هيئة الرياضة حتى لا أطيل الوقت لإدخال الرياضة في المدارس والبدء الانطلاق من المدارس؟ شكرا جزيلا.
أولا شكرا، حرجتني بس شكرا مقدرة. وترى أنتم شايفيني أنا في 1000 أكثر مني وأحسن مني موجودين في البلد وبتعامل معاهم يوميا، وأنا فخورة بالتعامل معاهم، فإحنا فريق عمل والجهود جهود واحدة. الرياضة في المدارس هذا واجب وزارة التعليم، وإحنا علينا أنه نعطيهم أو نساعدهم في المناهج اللي ممكن تتطبق. عندنا خطط ودنا نعرضها لهم إن شاء الله مواعيد معاهم جاية، بس في طرق جدا بسيطة ممكن ندخل الرياضة في المدرسة، لا تكلف رأس مال ولا تكلف جهد كبير، وممكن نستعمل المدرسات اللي موجودين حاليا في وزارة العمل وفي تيار الوظائف اللي عندهم. فإن شاء الله عندنا خطة قاعدين ندرسها مع جامعة نورة ونبغى نعرضها على وزارة التعليم، بس هذا يتهيأ لي إذا نبغى نغير من النمط حق حياتنا ونبغى نغير من الفكر لازم نبدأ من المدارس. وما هي فعلا مسألة تغيير، أما مسألة إضافة. خلينا نضيف الرياضة والمفهوم الرياضي الصحيح الجديد اللي هي تخص الصحة الشاملة، هذا هدفنا. فإن شاء الله لنا خطط مع وزارة العمل إن شاء الله بنخاطبهم إن شاء الله.
Thank you. Dikembe looks, our time is up because no one, Dikembe looks really happy because he didn't get any kind of questions. So I'll ask you this question, that's the last question. It's become like a tradition here in this 2 days global forum that all the time the speakers are asked to give their advice to the entrepreneurs and to the young people here. What's your advice when we talk about sport? Can you just, because still now we talked about some people who are cynical about what sport can do to the society. What can you say to them?
To me, the best advice I can give to anyone here in this room is just we have to invest in our youth. If we want to serve the future of our society, we have to use all of our tools that we have to give to the next generation, make sure that we prepare them to grow in a better environment where they can grow, they are healthy, they are educated, they are fit, they can stay productive in a society. If we don't do it, we're going to have a failure society full of sick people, full of crazy people, full of non-disciplined people. And we cannot do that. And all of that starts with our young people. So take your time out of your busy schedule, whatever you do in life. If you can take maybe an hour to 2 hours a week, say that I will meet young people in this corner. I know there's a group of young people who play basketball in that gym, and I'm going to come talk to them about the investment. That will be a great place for you to come talk to them about the investment. Or you're going to come talk to them about how can they stay healthy, how they can make a choice in their life on what they eat. If I'm a doctor, I'm going to tell them about other initiatives. That's the only way you can contribute. Not because you're a doctor, you're a scientist. You think when we are talking about sport, your role is not there. Each one of us have a role in a society. Each one of us have a place to play in a society. It's just about finding your time and being committed to have the next generation so they can grow in a society where they can be successful. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Her Royal Highness Princess Reema bint Bander Al-Saud and Mr. Dikembe Mutombo. Yes. Please, and just before we leave, I want to make this announcement because the MISC initiatives will be announced shortly, so please don't leave. Thank you.
Thank you.